What's up, guys? It's Ty with H24 Outdoors, and today I've got a cooler to show you guys. And this is not your average cooler. This is something that I feel like could be revolutionary for us kayak fishermen, and I will show you why here in a little bit. This is a product from Crescent that I feel like is absolutely genius, and it is a great way to maximize your storage. And for all you tournament guys, this is going to be a great way to keep your drinks cold. I know I've got a cooler that goes on the back of my seat for my Old Town 106, and it's good for like half the day, and then everything is just melted by then. But this is a real hard cooler that you can keep without taking up any storage in your kayak if you have a kayak that applies and fits this. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so now that you've seen the cooler, there's not much to it, but it's the kayak cooler made by Crescent. And by first glance, you might be thinking, it looks just like any other cooler on the market. And that is true. But what's special about this cooler is what you can do with it with a Crescent kayak. But first, before I get explaining all that, let me just get into the specs of this. It has got the 3mm EVA foam pad on top, which is what they use for all their foam pad kits on their kayaks. Super comfortable to sit on, which I will get into here in a second. Rope handles with a foam handle on both sides, and on the left side, it's got a drain plug. Look inside of there, nothing too crazy. It's got a really good seal on it. We did notice that. Thick insulation. But yeah, as far as the actual cooler, that is what it is. And the meat and bones, the meat and potatoes of this cooler is actually what you can do with other kayaks from Crescent. So let's get into that. All right, now that you've seen the cooler, it's just your average cooler. But the thing about it is it was designed to go inside of a kayak. If you have a crew, light tackle, or a CK1 Venture, this can be a high seat option for your kayak because it's going to fit in that little slot down there perfectly. And they have also made, I will flip this around and show you, right there, there's a little hole, and that is so that way you can put a backing on it. And we do not have one at the shop right now, but it's basically just a backrest, and it turns it into a fully functional seat. You can strap it down. It's pretty awesome. So this is going to allow for camping trips and overnight endeavors. You can bring your food. It's going to hold your ice. Even for your tournament angler, if you have one of these kayaks that applies rigged up, you can just throw this seat in there, take up no additional storage, and you're going to have tons of room to store stuff. It holds 12 cans. I think it holds 18 pounds of ice. And yeah, it is just an awesome cooler. It's a great idea. I don't know how this hasn't been made before. And I'm hoping that from Crescent, this just becomes standard. And from looking forward, I'm hoping that this thing is going to fit all of the kayaks, because me as a tournament angler, on those hot summer days, there is nothing I want more than for my drinks to be cold. And when you're out there from 5 a.m. to like 3 or 4, that's a long day to be out in the heat. So having a full-size cooler available would just be awesome. If you're a tournament angler, you can't have that in your kayak. And I know I've been harping on the tournament side of it, but if you're camping and floating, this is going to be revolutionary because your cooler takes up a huge chunk, and you do need a cooler. And if you go without a cooler, then that's pretty foolish because you're going to need drinks and just to be prepared for whatever, have food. But when you're doing these multi-day camping trips, this cooler is going to save your life because it is going to maximize the amount of stuff that you can bring. Because when you are camping on a kayak, you're already balling out with little supplies. You can't just bring out everything. It's pretty much essentially backpacking. Um, but this cooler, super revolutionary. Once we get one of these backings in, we're gonna throw them on. I'll make another video showing you guys that. But it is awesome. You're sitting on that foam pad, and if it gets hot, you can just get that foam pad wet and cool yourself down. But yeah, this cooler, revolutionary. We're super excited. Crescent did a amazing job with this idea. I don't know how this hadn't been thought of before because it just makes sense now. But yeah, backing on the seat so that way you're not just sitting there holding your back up. You can lean back in it. We did have one at one point, but we already sold it. We had a few. And I got to sit in it, and I will tell you, it is pretty dang comfortable. It's adjustable. It's a revolutionary thing, I feel like, from Crescent. All right, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Please give us a subscription. Drop some video ideas down below. I've got a whole fishing store and kayak store behind me. So anything fishing and kayak related, I can do a video on it. But thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Peace.